Today we have announced that we've returned to sustainable profitability for the half-1 2014, which is a significant amount of progress when we look back the last 2.5 years, where we had multi-billion losses when we started out. So we're very pleased to be able to announce these results. The key drivers of the results, I suppose, would be that we have increased our revenues 36%, and we've managed at the same time to reduce our costs by 9%. Also, another key influence is our bad debt provisions have declined by 88%. If you look at the total performance, I think those are the key drivers. At the same time, though, we have built a franchise which is very successful in terms of our customers, and we've seen very positive momentum in that franchise too. The main highlights for the first half of 2014 would probably be in the following order. If we look at the first and most important criteria was returning to sustainable profitability, as profitability will allow us to generate capital, which allows us to support the growth of the Irish economy. The second main element of progress was getting the European Commission approval for our franchise strategy, and that's very significant in terms of our relationships with Europe. A third element would be the fact that our provisions have declined by 88%, which reinforces our view that we're a well-capitalized bank and that the business is returning more to a normal operating model. And the last element, I suppose, to mention would be that we've seen a turning point in arrears, and we have seen a decline in most categories of arrears in the business this year. If we look to the future of AIB, my main focus is on delivering a disciplined performance for the full year 2014. At the same time, whilst we expect to demonstrate that profitability in the full year, we have to pass the stress tests in Europe, and we believe that we are well capitalized and that we will pass those stress tests. Once we've demonstrated that we're a sustainably profitable company and that is well capitalized, I think the next issue for us is really how do we maximize shareholder value. If we look at ultimately our objective of returning funds to the taxpayer that were invested during the crisis, I think what we have committed to as a strategy for our shareholder is to be investable in 2015. Based on our current outlook, we will be sustainably profitable, well capitalized, our arrears will be well managed, and we will have the approval of the European Commission. I think at that point we are a profitable bank that is investable, and at that point it is really at the discretion of the government as to when they choose to monetize that investment. AIB has seen a strong growth in its lending strategies this year. If we look at the Republic of Ireland, we have seen a 42% growth in the level of approvals, and we have seen a 17% increase in the level of approvals on mortgages. So if you look at the overall health of the franchise, I'm very happy to see that level of momentum, and it's supported by the growth in the economy, but we're able to deliver our ambition, which is to be the prime provider of credit to the economy. When I look at some of the positive elements that we've considered at a board level, we recognise that over the past 2.5 years, the progress we have made has been heavily supported by our shareholder, which is ultimately the taxpayer, and we are very grateful for that. In addition, I have to say that as a CEO, it's quite a luxury to have the passion and the pride which our staff demonstrated. And we wouldn't be able to achieve these rather remarkable results if it was not for the capabilities and the commitment of our staff, and so we really do appreciate their efforts. In AIB, we have two core elements to our strategy at the moment. The first is to maximise shareholder value, and the second is to put the customer at the heart of our franchise. So everything we do, every process we engage in, and every service we deliver is informed by what the customer wants and the customer behaviours. And I believe that our lending statistics for this year, which show tremendous growth, are testimony to the fact that we're getting that customer proposition right. But everything we do going forward and our long-term profitability and sustainability is determined by our success in delivering for our customer.